What's up? Yo, hey. Jumping on. Hope y'all are doing well. Okay, I guess the regular drill 8 or 9 months into this is to just sort of wait a minute, right? Let's wait a minute. Coming in quick. Coming in. Oh, wow. Okay. Got a lot of y'all on here. Cool. Okay. I'm going to wait just a few more seconds and then I'll get started. How's everyone doing? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me? Looks like we got a lot of people here. All right. Okay. Ciao, Cesar de Sousa. I hope I didn't mess that up too bad. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, okay. For those of you who are in the United States, I'm in the United States if it wasn't clear or obvious, but it's one of those, it is a very anxious day. People are waiting on the results from the presidential election, which seems to be, those results seem to be dragging on and on and on, and people are like freaking out and like me, sort of tossing and turning a lot of the night and obsessively checking the news. But anyway, I do have a good topic to talk about today, and I am going to keep it short, but I think it's actually kind of valid. Before I get into that, I want to remind everyone that I have a couple of prints available on my website if you go to howardsherman.com. I also want to let y'all know that I'm trying something different, and you'll see a post about it today. I'm going to start posting less on social media, which includes Instagram, and putting a lot more of that. I hate the word content. I think it's an awful word, but I'm going to start putting a lot more of my words and pictures, which is essentially what I do on Instagram. I'm going to start putting those on my website, and there's a new page on howardsherman.com. If you go to the website, there's a new page up already called Words and Pictures, and I've already started to do it. If you want to see my stuff or be reminded of my stuff, the best way to do that is to subscribe to my email list. And if you hit the contact page, if you hit the contact link at the bottom of the pages of any of the pages at howardsherman.com, there's a place to subscribe and sign up. You'll subscribe and then you will click on the black sign up button. That's the best way to stay in touch. You'll subscribe and click on the black sign up button. That link is also on my profile here on Instagram. You can click on the link and it'll take you there so you can subscribe and hit the black sign up button. And that is going to be the way to, I just directed you to the website 5 million times, okay? One more time, Wergo, click on the link, okay, on my profile, and you can subscribe and hit the black sign up button. That is how you stay in touch, okay? I'll send out usually a weekly email, which will remind you of all the new posts and the videos and all the stuff that's going on with me. There's a lot more content on my website now. Excuse me really quickly. I have something going on. Anyway, there's a lot of content on the site. And just like I've mentioned before, the videos that I've done here are on the Live from the Studio link on my website. So if you didn't see those yet, you can go back and you can watch those, and I think that they'll be very helpful to you, okay? So that's the big thing. I guess what I've realized is that I want to try it a little bit differently where the algorithm police of Facebook aren't affecting who sees what and how. And I think that the people who get a lot of value out of what I do, whether it's with my own artwork or the help I'm trying to provide with these videos or my thoughts on my social media posts, hopefully you'll subscribe and sign up, or that'll remind you to come check my stuff out on my site, where there will be no algorithm police manipulating or dictating our interactions with each other. Anyway, we're trying that out. We'll see how it goes. So, having said that, I got a question this week. Thank you for the questions. I appreciate y'all sending me those emails. I got an email this week. I believe I've answered another question by this person, and it kind of triggered, I guess, which would be a whole topic of conversation today for this particular live session, okay? I'm going to read the question first, and then I've got an answer for it, and then that'll be that, okay? Ann Smith sent me a question. And Ann, if you're watching, I want you to know, I appreciate the question. I think you already know the answer to part of this question, but I'm going to read it verbatim, how you wrote it. Again, I think part of this you already kind of know the answer to, but it triggers a bigger conversation that I think is important. Okay, so Ann Smith asked the question, as an abstract painter, how important is it that an artist be able to articulate what their work is about in order to validate it to the outside world, galleries, and critics? Should or can the work stand alone for what it is without the written jargon? Okay, again, some of this I think you already know the answer to, but I'm going to read some of my thoughts about this, and I think that they're going to be helpful. And if you have questions, I'll be happy to take a couple of them when I'm done. Let's try and keep the questions about the topic of artists, painters, sculptors, visual artists writing about their work or something around that. Okay, here's what I think. And I think that humans think in language. I think the clearer that you can write about what you're doing, the clearer you are thinking and explaining what you're doing. I think that writing gives you power. I remember being at an artist residency at one summer while I was in graduate school at the School of Visual Arts, and Jerry Saltz, the famous art critic who I've paraphrased many times before on these videos, came into one of the sessions and he said that writing gives you power. And I think that that's very important. I think a lot of great artists have also written. I suggest you read their writings by artists such as Donald Judd, famous artists, David Sally, Carol Dunham, Sean Scully, Philip Guston. I've been reading all of these artists for a long time in one reason or another, and their writings are very informative. And when you write about your work, you're also making it easier for other people, including non-artists, to understand your work. I think that's very important. And it doesn't matter if it's abstract or quote-unquote abstract or quote-unquote representational. It doesn't matter, okay? I think that I understand why you say that, but I don't necessarily think it's really all that. I don't think it's really all that important. I think that I think that there's a general population that doesn't have a whole lot of art education. Most people don't have a whole lot of art education. Their art education falls off in elementary school or something like that, and it's easier for them to embrace in a very primal, basic level. It's easier for some of those people to embrace recreation of photography in the form of painting, if you will, or something that's more representational. But I still think that really great artwork of any sort unpacks itself on multiple levels. So nonetheless, whether it's abstract or representational, I don't necessarily think that that's all that important. I think that it's important to be very clear about what your intention is about what you're doing and what you're explaining. And I think that the right people, whether it's whoever they are in the outside world, will come around about that. Now, this is not a substitute for making great artwork, okay? If you're a visual artist making paintings and drawings and sculptures, writing about the work is not a substitute for making great work. It always starts and ends with the work. I'll repeat that again. It always starts and ends with the work. But if you can write clearly about your work, if you can write clearly about your work, you're generally thinking really clearly about your work. And the clearer you think about the work, your clearer your work's going to be. Okay? Again, I'll repeat this. Humans think in language. Even visual artists, we think in language. So I think that it's important. And I think that many people in art school are forced at some point or other to write a little bit about their work. And I always think that that's a healthy exercise. Now, if you're not that into it, that's fine. Again, I'm stating my feelings, and I feel like there's a lot of great artists out there who are very articulate about what they think, say, and write. And it's not a coincidence, okay? So, I also think, by the way, there's a lot of great artists there who haven't written a lot, but they've also, people like Picasso and Cy Twombly have incorporated really great text into their work, along with many others. Who am I thinking of? Is it Barbara Kruger? Not Jenny Holzer. Is it Jenny Holzer or Barbara Kruger? One of those. I mean, there's a lot of great people who are very, you don't just pick up writing that sounds snappy by not reading and writing, okay? So keep that in mind too. I feel like, I also think I think that there's a lot of like trendy cultural ideas that don't really hold up. And I think that a lot of ideas should be scrutinized and described through writing. And I read something, David Sally, who I mentioned before, wrote a really great book called How to See. And in an earlier video, probably closer to March or April, I recommended the book. I've recommended a few books in these videos. I don't remember which ones. You might want to just go back and check. But I read something where he talked about ideas should be scrutinized, and it really helps visual artists to spend some time writing about other artists' artwork. The act of describing is a powerful act in the written form, and I think it does nothing but help benefit you and you as a painter, sculptor, drawer. That's a weird word. It's not really a word, is it? You as a visual artist. It focuses your attention on if you're going to go and write about other people's artwork, and this goes for writing about your own artwork. It's going to help you focus the attention on the specifics of the painting without being too general about it. It's also going to force you to probably read and learn more art history, which is never a bad thing regarding being informed about your work. Anyway, that is my point for today. That is my topic for today. Let's see if we got a few, just drop my notes. Let's see if we got a few questions. And I know this might take a few seconds to come on through. Just did the 360. How'd y'all like that move? Pretty sweet, huh? Any questions? Maybe I'm missing them. Who knows? I don't know. Bear with me. Any questions? Joey Feldman, artist. I know Joey. I will know Joey. Okay. Bad Chemist, I'm not showing you around the studio right now. It is a mess with a lot of unfinished, unresolved things, so I'm not gonna do that. One other thing I will mention as a side note, yes, right now I am available for individual critiques. If you email me, I'm happy to send you details with a rate sheet. But yeah, any other questions? Any other comments? Any other thoughts? Or have any of you tried writing about other people's artwork or writing about your own artwork? Doesn't always necessarily have to be published. I have a little corresponding thread going with some other artists, or we're constantly emailing back and forth about exhibitions that we've seen and images that we've looked at. Even that is helpful. Something I forgot to mention earlier. Okay, so Joey Feldman Artist asks, is there one book that inspires you more than others? Your go-to, I guess you mean your go-to book you enjoy the writing of. Okay, well, I think the one that had been really helpful was the one I just mentioned, the David Sally book, How to See. I think that's been a really good book for me over the last year or two. I'm actually, although I have mixed feelings about his work sometimes, I think there's a collection of writings by Sean Scully, which I think is really colorful and insightful in some ways too. But I would start with that David Sally book. It's called How to See. His last name is Salle. Okay? It came out 2 or 3 years ago. Anyway, I think that we're gonna call it a day. I'm gonna spin back and make sure I didn't miss anything really interesting. And I guess that's going to be it. So you'll be seeing me a little less on social media. Don't forget to subscribe and sign up on my website if you want to stay in touch. I've already put up some cool stuff on the words and pictures page, which I just started. Okay, it's howardsherman.com, and there's a link in my profile that you can click on. Okay, I appreciate it. And let's hope this election ends in the United States ends soon. It's making everyone crazy. All right, bye-bye.